Hey everybody, Casual Greco-Fabulous here. Not sitting in a chair this time, but I am going to be switching things up today. Instead of force-feeding you content, I'm going to do what you want to do. So I put out a quick YouTube poll to see what you wanted the subject of my next video to be. And surprisingly, only 6% of you wanted to see a bad estate sale hunting video. What do you mean they're all bad? Anyways, the winner of that poll was that you wanted to see the current state of my collection, which makes sense. I mean, it might have something to do with the fact that all I talk about is buying and reselling, so you're probably like, what do you actually keep other than your money? Because that's the most important thing for me. Collecting goal in 2021 is to profit even more off of your nostalgia. You dumb nerds. Yes, I do collect. So I gotta do this in pieces because unfortunately my living situation is not conducive to the status and stature of my collection. Honestly, it's your fault anyways. You're not watching enough of my videos, you're not clicking enough of those ads, you haven't started a GoFundMe, you haven't subscribed to my Patreon, which doesn't exist. You know, you're not giving me the life I deserve.
You guys wanna die?
Give me money or the guinea pig gets it.
Stop.
So I gotta work with what I have in terms of what I can display for the public and what is kept elsewhere. Which means I gotta break this thing up in parts because not everything is readily accessible. And the award for best miniseries goes to me. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at part 1 of my collection. But first, we gotta get this guy out of the way, because he takes up a lot of space. Humble brag. Look how big he is! I wanna play with his ring. Yep, the latest and possibly greatest addition to my collection, the HasLab crowdfunded Unicron. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. I think it's like 27 inches point to point. I mean, this I got it the other day. It literally took me an hour just to get it on the stand. I mean, that's more because of Hasbro's terrible instructions sheets. I had to watch so many videos, but my God, this thing is amazing. I can't wait to transform him into robot mode, but if I had my say, I would keep him in planet mode. So that right now he's just taking up a giant spot in the middle of my room here, and unfortunately this is going to be like a temporary museum stay. You know, it's not going to be able to live here forever because I have way too much going on in terms of children and animals. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. He's here for now. He is beautiful. I wish I had 2 of them because they're selling for like $1,500. Alright, so yeah, let me literally get him out of the way so you can see everything else that's what's going on here. Alright guys, so I'm going to be up front here. You know, this isn't like museum curated. Everything doesn't have a perfect spot. I'm not making the most utilization of the space I have available to me. It's always a work in progress, but I am limited by what I have access to and some of those other dangers that I mentioned in the previous clip. So there's going to be a lot of empty space. There's going to be things that aren't that visually pleasing. I get it. Things are dusty. Things are dirty. There's stuff going on here. Okay, this is not the life I want to live, but it's what is going on right now. So I want to show you and we'll talk about some things, right? So starting off with this little setup here, we got some Teddy Ruxpin appearances in the top corner here. We got a complete inbox working Teddy Ruxpin. This is the original one that ran off of tapes like this. You know, these tapes had, I think, a specific metal strip on there which not only controlled the audio, but it also controlled the motor functions of Teddy Ruxpin. He did work last time I checked. Pro tip, when you are testing Teddy Ruxpins, use fresh alkaline. Do not use carbon zinc. I tried to cheap out and thought that my Teddy Ruxpin was broken by using some flea market carbon zinc batteries, and the problem was that Teddy needs more power than that, so don't rely on that. So you got Teddy Ruxpin here and his buddy Grubby with the sync cord, and he also worked together, so it was really cool having them pair up to read me such classics as like Lost in Bogley Woods.
There's nothing in the world like a good friend.
You can say that again. Oh, Teddy Ruxpin is my friend.
And Grubby's my
It's me.
So it's really cool to see them interact, you know, advanced technology for his time. I tried to show that to my kids. They were not impressed. They're like, my iPad can do that like a million times better. But it was really fun. Teddy Ruxpin I picked up at the flea market. Grubby was a cheap eBay purchase because it's one of those things where Teddy Ruxpin is not really super in demand like all the time. So you can, you know, good deals can definitely be had. So in terms of Teddy Ruxpin, I would like to get as much as I can in terms of like outfits and displays and whatnot. But again, it's not something where I want to compete with people for it. So kind of similar to Pee Wee Herman and Pee Wee's Playhouse, where it's not super in demand in my area. I think I can have it for cheap, and that's going to be my goal. Here I got a random GoBot. I'm not really collecting GoBots. This guy actually might end up being for sale at some point, but he's one of the Cap Gun versions right there. So I just thought he was cool. I'm addicted to like the Cap Gun smell after a freshly fired one. That and gasoline are like my most favorite smells, which explains a lot. So then moving down a shelf here, we got Inspector Gadget, a carded Dr. Claw. And if you're familiar with the Inspector Gadget cartoon, they never showed Dr. Claw's face. He was always shown like in his chair, and you see his arm like petting his pet cat over here. And it was this figure that was like the big reveal, which was like not that impressive anyways. Just kind of seemed like a senile old man, honestly, as opposed to a mad scientist. But yeah, that was the whole gimmick right there. You wouldn't see him until you bought him and opened him up. They covered his face. So this guy, I was actually able to get, he's not completely sealed, he is open, but he's still pretty much attached to the card. I was able to get like 2 of them on eBay pretty cheaply. I think it was like $60 or less shipped. So I was able to sell the other one for almost, I think, all my money back, if not more, to get a pretty cheap Dr. Claw. So that worked out. Since then, I really haven't seen any deals on Inspector Gadget. They have, you would think it's one of those lines that not many people will be searching for, but they are surprisingly hard to get for value. So then, but right behind him, as I mentioned before, Pee Wee Herman is definitely a brand that is near and dear to my heart. I love him. Sorry, I have Pee Wee Tourette's. Yeah, that's a line which I love, and it's small enough where I think I legitimately want to say that I want to own every single piece. Now, some of them are going to be insanely difficult, like the cherry that you can actually sit in. I mean, it's, you know, kid size, but I'm going to do my best. I always see like crazy beat up versions on eBay for like thousands. I'm hoping I'm going to dig that up someday, like out of a barn. Hopefully not a barn, because that would actually be pretty disgusting, I would think. But or as like a rideable scooter, I've seen that a few times. Might bite the bullet on that eventually. But anyways, that is the sealed Pee Wee's Playhouse, which I just got recently, upgraded from a complete in-box version. I believe I paid $80 for him, but once I sell the one I had, it'll be less than that. This is just a cutesy little dumpster fire vinyl figure that my wife got me for like Christmas or holiday or something. I don't know. This is Forky from Toy Story 4.
Oh, you're just like me! Trash!
I do like the Toy Story movies. I don't really collect or have been collecting them, but thought it was just some random newer figure that I wanted to throw up here. This is the newer Grimlock from the Studio Series 86 line. Great movie rendition of Grimlock with his buddy Wheelie right there. Really fell in love with the Studio Series line. I grabbed a whole ton of them, which you'll actually see pretty soon. Normally I kept them, I would keep the newer stuff in the box, but I actually got the itch and opened a lot of these up. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. This spot used to belong to my buddy over here.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me.
But he had a hard time kind of hanging in that little spot. His head he would have like terrible neck pain, and he just keep falling over every time. But this is my buddy figure. Missing his hat. I swear I had it and it got lost in like the shuffle. I don't know. Constantly moving things around. But so I don't know where he's going to end up just yet. But I got him in an attic find, which I don't think I ever released a video of it, but I do have footage. That's going to be a common theme. A lot of these things I've never shown the light of day on my YouTube channel, but I have the footage. All right, and then moving down a level, here we got a semblance of my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers collection. I definitely have a lot more. I don't think it's going to fit into this video per se, but I just wanted to show this off. These, with the Power Rangers, I pretty much only cared about the first like 1 to 2 seasons. So that's all I really care about. And I don't want everything. I just want like the main characters in terms of the Rangers themselves. And like I don't really care about the bad guys that much. But these guys, you know, these are all the original, like I think, I don't know how, are they 8-inch figures? All sealed in box. They're not opened. I have everyone except the Black Ranger. Don't read too much into that. It is just how my collecting has gone so far. I've had the opportunity to buy them before, but it's just Power Rangers can be had pretty cheaply too if you're patient enough. Here we got a complete, you know, regular sized Megazord, and next to him is a complete deluxe size Megazord. I know for sure he came in that big Power Rangers lot that I got a while back from a guy who runs out a clean out company. Did make a video on that one. He might have been pieced together from a few different lots. And then right behind him is actually a sealed White Tiger Zord and the White Ranger. So again, with Power Rangers, I only really care about the original first 2 season figures, the Power Rangers that go with them, the Zords, that primarily were featured in the live action show, because that's all I really care about there. So there is a definite finish line for sure. And this is just a random playing card for G1 Transformers. So speaking of G1 Transformers, we're gonna casually move down here real quick, and got some biggies right here, right? So there we have a complete in-box G1 Prime, Optimus Prime. I'm not really doing the whole variant thing, so I haven't looked into that as far as like bloated, or you know what the letter is on the trailer, or you know how his stacks are they shortened, or any of that stuff. I didn't really care at the time, but he's legit. He's in there. I got that from that like amazing Facebook Marketplace deal where it started off as like one Metroplex figure and ballooned into somebody's whole collection. And then next to him, we got a complete in-box Megatron. This was a gift from my wife many, many moons ago, very early into my collecting. As you can see, they're both in acrylic cases just to help better preserve them. They're not sealed or anything like that, so they are accessible if need be. And then down here, I have a second Optimus Prime, but as you can see, there's something a little different about that one, and that this one is actually signed by the voice of Optimus Prime himself, Peter Cullen. And I got that when we did the meet and greet in Rhode Island Comic Con. He actually signed the cab as well here, but I can't really see it from this angle, and I don't want to move things around.
It's a pity used Marios die so easily. Otherwise, I might have a sense of satisfaction.
And here's a random button. All right, and then the very last shelf down here, but definitely not least, is a box for G1 Fortress Maximus, one of the holy grails of the G1 line. Mine is in that box. I had to buy it all separately. I got the figure from like an estate sale and a bunch of pieces. I got the box and maybe some more parts from eBay from like a really cheap lot. It was like super cheap. It was just for Fort Max, but it was one of those things where the guy like ended up shipping it like in the original box and just like put wrapping paper on it, so it could have been a huge disaster, but thankfully it worked out okay. And then on Facebook Marketplace there was a guy selling the box with the styrofoam. So once I got the styrofoam, I threw Fort Max in there, and I think I'm literally one gun away from him being complete. Now, I know he doesn't really get the light of day being stuffed under here, and the box isn't going to win any beauty pageants, but some cool things. Was $89.96 discounted back down there. I've actually had a few chances to get Fort Maxes recently, and I don't know why I keep dragging my feet. It's kind of been one of my kryptonite, I guess, when it comes to collecting, but I do have one, so that is pretty cool. Alright guys, so I think I'm going to take a break. I was planning on originally showing you everything on this side of the wall, including the marquees and the artwork, and I didn't even get all the way down to the wall before I was like, man, this is getting really long. I'm getting tired. I'm parched. I need a drink. And, you know, what's the rush? Let's, you know, we'll milk this for as much as we can. And, I mean, you'll definitely get to see everything at some point. And, you know, these are easy to shoot. They might not be the most exciting videos in terms of, like, Greco-Fabulous razzmatazz, or, like, fun stuff. You know, it's just, it's hard to talk all the time and just have it be a constant stream of funny. It's just, and you guys aren't worth it. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. You're not worth it. So, I hope you enjoyed what you saw so far. I hope you're hungry for more, because there's definitely more. And, but I'm going to call time of death on this one, because I just want to play with my buddy Unicron here. I want to twist him. I want to twist his ring. I want to twist it. Oh, it's the perfect size for something. Maybe put it... Yeah, that's about right. Okay, bye. Thanks for playing. Bye.